Where is the note? Seriously, where is it? Yeah, I lose everything. Where's the bloody... Ah, there it is. There it is. Found it. I always lose things, man. Come on. All right. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me again. There it is. Okay. See that? All right, I've got that up. Now I pull up YouTube on this end. So that way I can read chat. Otherwise, I can't read nothing. Refresh page. Just a second, guys. Pulling everything up. Almost ready. I don't have Lark here tonight, so things are going a bit slower. Hello, hello. Getting people on. Good, good, good. By the way, guys, I said this in my Discord page. I have finished writing that song, the Viva La Vida parody, the thing that I was working on. I finished that, so that is now done. All right. So I have written that. Fun stuff. Oh, an extra XP fest. All the more reason to play. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, the Vikings won again. Oh my gosh. Can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Hey guys, Vikings won again. What? The Vikings won the season? What? Wait, the Vikings never do that. What? Can't believe they did that. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Congratulations, Vikings. You did the impossible. Can't believe you did that. I am so impressed. Anyway, before we get started, let's take a look at that Viking thing. All right, let's see this new Viking execution. What is it? What is it? Dead weight throw. All right. Whoa. What the hell? What the hell? I don't even know. Oh yeah, Labaj, sorry. I'll invite you on. Alright, but what the hell? Okay, I have some problems. First of all, the chop to the shoulder was fine, but then she didn't yank him onto her shoulders. He just kind of fell on it. Look at this. That's a little odd. And then, okay, Oh, then what? Okay, she did that too easy. It's like he didn't weigh anything. Like, it's like... Yeah, it is square in the chest. You're right. How did she get him onto her shoulder so easy? And how did she swing him so easily? That I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's fine, but it's I've seen better. I feel like if they slowed it down and made it look like the warden was heavy there, or whatever that she was lifting was heavy on her shoulders, it'd be different. But right now it's just kind of like I feel like there's nothing there. I feel like there's nothing there, and it's kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. I may get it later, but not top priority right now. All right, well, let's get started. I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now I've been put into an anime. Just some girl guys want to lay. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Now I listen as otaku sing. Please love me, senpai, doki doki. 1 minute I was the king. Now they call me kawaii, and I discovered that my castle stands upon pillars of weaves and pillars of stands. I hear Japanese idol singing. All my ancestors watch me cringing. In the mirror I shake with horror, knowing I give strange guys a boner. For some reason I can't explain, I've been redrawn as nothing but an anime girl, instead of one who ruled the world. I'll sing the rest later. I need to pick my hero, don't I? Alright, we'll do Viking just for fun. I'm not even done. That's only the first half of the song. But I needed to pause to think about what hero I wanted. It was a wicked and wild wind, blew up my skirt as I came in. All guys want to do is touch my bum. I can't believe what I've become. Otakus and weebs all simp to get some head on the dating sim. Forced to tell them all Daisuke and watch them burn down my legacy. I hear Japanese idols singing. All my ancestors watch me cringing. In the mirror I shake with horror, knowing I give strange guys a boner. For some reason I can't explain, my new life is naught but pain. Is nothing but an anime girl, instead of one who ruled the world. And then get that instrumental in there, you know, the cool background choir. I hear Japanese idols singing. All my ancestors watch me cringing. In the mirror I shake with horror, knowing I give strange guys a boner. For some reason I can't explain, my new life is naught but pain. As nothing but an anime girl, instead of one who ruled the world. And then fade off with that ooh. Okay, and that is my rewrite. It is I'm still editing certain bits of it, like I want to adjust it just to be perfect, but that is what I've got so far for my rewrite of Viva La Vida by Coldplay, called Nothing But an Anime Girl. That you have no idea what I am capable of when I am bored, like legit. Lights! Give them the light. There we go. All right, let me, hey, what the hell? Hold on. I lost the chat. I lost chat. What happened? Chat, come back. What happened? It refreshed my screen. Why did it do that? That's weird. There we go. Is that a real song? Viva La Vida by Coldplay is a real song, a very popular song, but I rewrote it. I rewrote the song from Viva La Vida to Nothing But an Anime Girl. All right, anyway. Raven loved the Knights video, the Paladin, and actually got giddy. Oh. Anyway, while I'm dead, let's check. Raven, you have the voice of a god. I definitely do not. Throw bacon on the Raven Lord. I would not be surprised if someone picked it up and actually make an anime out of it. No, here's the thing. I made the song for a reason. Basically, one thing that anime loves to do is take historical people, like actual historical figures and heroes and warriors and generals and kings, and just make them anime girls. Like, that's what they do. They just turn them into anime girls for the sake of their anime. And I was kind of making fun of that by singing the song like I'm some historical hero or warrior or general, and now I'm just nothing but an anime girl to like turn on weebs and stuff like that. Is this really what we're gonna do, Black Prior? Okay, all right, we can do this. Watch them light. Watch them light. Anyway. What did I just walk into? Epicness. $5 in that one mine. Hello, gentlemen. I will have this the background as I paint my Ragnar Black Mane as the Space Wolves are fun. Cool. And he's dead. I didn't even see him come in. We're never going to get anywhere if all we do is gank in one zone. I need to work on other territories. God, all this guy does is light. Oh my lord. People who tell me that Kyoshin isn't a light spammer, y'all need to check yourselves. Is Lark with you? Read the description, Lord Thunder. This is why if I had to pick, like, people always ask me who's my least favorite For Honor characters. From the Samurai, it would definitely be Kyoshin. Kyoshin is easily my least favorite. From the Wulin, probably John Hu. From the Knights, Gladiator. Baited him. Anyway. Will we be seeing any Ruth and or Nibbles? You might. You just might. I'm going to hold this spot for the time being because I know someone's coming to it. Trust me. It won't take long. It will not take long. Anyway. Kyoshin, I just don't play him like that. Well, the problem is not light spamming with Kyoshin is... Oh, hi. Watch this Gladiator now. He's just going to hang back and let the Berserker do it. Let the Black Prior do all the work. Yep, there it is. Hey. Anyway, in terms of lore, who's your least favorite from each faction, Raven? The ones who don't get any lore, like the Wu Lin have no lore, like almost none to speak of. Jormungandr's lore is good, but it got stale. Like, yeah, so genuinely, not a lot. How can Gladiator's attack have such tracking? Yeah, throw your feet, dude. Go for it. Oh, my lord. Not gonna lie, enemy team is breaking and you've only got 2 people left to kill and you use a 3rd feat just to secure the kill while you're ganking. That's kind of cringe. Bro, I got cheated by the BP. Yep. Raven Knight, I'm having some trouble with Tian D. I feel his dodges don't dodge well. Dodge light, dude. Tian D is dodge light the character. Dodge light. Oh, and now they're chat spamming. Okay. That's cool. And Labaj is joining them. All right. Go for it, Labaj. I'm not going to. Anyway. Raven, did you see the movie Rango? Yeah, I did. It was fine. The time the Wu Lin do get lore is about them blowing themselves up and getting conquered and turned into a vassal by tyrants. Pretty much. Woo, yeah. Raider jumping up there. We're going to get Raider to rep 32 today. We're going to get Raider to rep 32. That's the goal. All right, let's see how we're looking on the faction war map. The Knights are always losing. Every time I look at the Knights map, they're always losing territory. Anyway, Raven, you ever played any of the Ghost Recons? Yes, I've played Ghost Recon Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Wildlands was hella fun. Breakpoint was hella dumb. Raven, what do you think of the new Ashoka series? It's shit. The Ashoka series is just shit. I like how everyone's saying, oh, Dave Filoni's breathing new life into it. It's a comeback. It was shit. It was just 3 girl boss characters staring at each other and doing nothing the whole time. And also, it's just another let's search for a MacGuffin to find another MacGuffin to find this person who's not going to matter in the end. Because I guarantee, even if they do find Admiral Thrawn, what is he going to do? It's nothing. It is a boatload of nothing burger. Like, I guarantee it has nothing to do with nothing. Anyway. Hey Raven, how are you? I'm tired. The light dodge feels like it only moves a few feet and has a small window of dodge. I'm not talking about to dodge an attack. I'm talking about to spam that shit. Hey Raven, about riding, can you explain cheesy riding? Cheesy riding is riding that meets a lot of cliches and goofy stereotypes. Raven, that's not true. There was lots of walking in Ashoka. Ooh, walking! My favorite part of Star Wars. It's almost as fun as Jar Jar Binks making stupid jokes. We never forget the Clone Wars. Dave Filoni making the Clone Wars was his claim to fame. But now everyone thinks that he's super good and a great Star Wars writer because of it. Look, everything else he's made, I don't really care for. Like, I like Star Wars The Clone Wars. And even then, I don't like all the seasons. I like most of them, but not all of them. And Star Wars Rebels was okay. There were some characters and some aspects of it that I liked, but it wasn't as good as the Clone Wars. And everything since then, I've just not liked. Hey Raven, what's your thoughts on Codename Jade? I don't know what that is. So much nothing happened in Ashoka. We need the map thingy. We need the map thingy. Yep. We need, what was it again? Yeah, pretty much. Hey Raven, will you consider playing Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, when it comes out for PlayStation 5, I'll play it. We killed Jar Jar and sent him to hell. Do not utter his name. You know what the sad thing is? I didn't hate Jar Jar because I watched the Phantom Menace movie when I was a kid, and I laughed at Jar Jar. I thought he was funny. I thought he was goofy. I didn't dislike him. Now that I'm older, I recognize that he was kind of distracting and way too comic relief, but I didn't hate the guy. I feel like a lot of the hate he gets is a little unwarranted. I mean, y'all realize that Star Wars, at its heart, George Lucas intended for children? I'm glad that it appeals to more people, and I'm glad that it appeals to adults, don't get me wrong, but you are aware that Star Wars was meant to have a childish edge to it, and I feel like Jar Jar met that just a little too well, you know? I think that he was a little too childish. But people who say that he was racist, I'm like, are you serious? like, what? Like, oh, do you really see him as racist? Really? Really? I don't see it. I don't see it. Hey, Rick, he really wasn't that bad. We just hate him because the characters hate him. Yeah, pretty much. The funny thing, Raven, Jar Jar is the reason for Palpatine's rise to power. Yeah, I've heard that theory that Jar Jar intended all of it, but I don't believe it. Raven, what's your favorite character from Star Wars? Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Those two are kind of my two favorites. I just absolutely adore them. Darth Revan's cool, but that's from the no longer canon universe. Yeah, those would be my choices. Ooh, not a fun day for you, Kyoshin. Crap. Running to heal. There we go. I feel better now. Anyway, so what do you think about the Obi-Wan show? Oh, it's god tier awful. It was absolute shit. Like, the Obi-Wan show was probably one of the worst things to happen to Star Wars since the sequel series. I feel bad for Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. I don't know why I forgot his name for a minute. Because they really are good actors, and I feel bad for them being associated with this garbage. Because I'm sure they thought, oh man, we're going to relive the glory days, we're going to have fun, we're going to get to incorporate the Clone Wars stuff into this, it's going to be a lot of fun. No, it was just shit. It was just shit. Anyway, hey Raven, how are you doing? I'm okay. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. Ewan McGregor tried to stand up for whatever her name was, but acting he did in relation to the show. Guys, I'm gonna be real. Ewan McGregor is an excellent actor. He played Obi-Wan so well, and I'm so proud of what he did. I feel like he tried his best with what he was given, but it just wasn't good writing. As much as the prequels get hate, at least Lucas tried to make good movies. Here's the thing, the prequels get hate. I don't think they deserve all the hate. Sorry about that. Anyway, so the thing is, I don't even think the prequels deserve that much hate. Don't get me wrong; they're not as good as the original trilogy, and I do think that they focused a little too much on special effects over time. But I don't think they were bad movies. I don't think that they were terrible movies. Are they the best? No. Do they have flaws? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're so terrible, they're just so bad. No, I like them. I think they're very good. I think there's a lot of good things to take out of them. So I don't think the prequels deserve that much hate. And you know what? Even if they were bad movies, even if they were as bad as people say, I will say this about them. They were a love letter from George Lucas to the fans. They were George Lucas basically said, I want to make a series that appeals to my fans. Watch them light. But anyway, he said, I want to make a series that appeals to my fans. I want to make a series that honors the original trilogy. I want to make a series that really dives deeper into the world that I've created. And he did it, okay? He did it, and it did very well at first. Sure, it aged poorly, but I thought that he did very well at first. And then you get the sequels, which they weren't a love letter to the original. They basically wanted to destroy the original. So that's why I prefer the original trilogy and the prequels. Oh, I'm about to get attacked, then I'll read chat. Watch him, he's just gonna light this whole, yep. Oh, there's one heavy. Yeah, this Kyoshin only lights in zones. You like threw, I think, one heavy in that whole thing. That was insanity. Well, this is why I can't stand Kyoshins. They are light spam the character. And everyone says, well, then just bury their lights. Yeah. Run a marathon and win it. Just run faster than everyone else. Keep feeding my revenge, boys. There it is. You probably didn't even mean to crush and counter me. I think he was just throwing a light out of reflex. Got to heal up before I can help him. He's got to hold out. Watch him light. See, just light. The dude will not commit to a heavy. Holy damn. Fuck Kyoshin. Just fuck him. I can't stand Kyoshin. I'm leaving this guy alone. He's not worth fighting anymore. Just fuck Kyoshins. Get up here. Gotta focus on this fight, then I'll check chat. Alright, anyway. Hey Raven, will the Snow White reboot be the final nail in the coffin for Disney? No. It'll tank Disney for sure, but I don't think Disney will ever truly die. Like, it'll just sell itself to someone else. Oh, hi. Light for me. Yep, there you go. How did I miss that guard break? Oh, this is gonna feel sweet. This is gonna feel sweet. That felt good. That legitimately felt good. After getting light spammed by that jerk so many times, actually catching him for once in a guard break felt effing great. I think Disney will die. Companies collapse all the time. Disney is no different. Oh yeah, companies collapse all the time. They're not Disney. See, that's the thing. Even when Disney releases shit, they still make money off of it. Enough money to keep themselves alive a little longer. Enough money to sell more stuff. And plus, their old products still get views and bought all the time. Anytime a Disney product gets re-released in theaters or something, it still brings in money. So even though their current stuff may be doing poorly, they won't actually die, I don't think. How'd I do? 7 kills? That's not bad. I've done worse. Plus, most of my deaths happened because of that effing Kyoshin. Anyway. We need to, let's see, what perks are good for hybrid assassin's character in your opinion? Like, is Headhunter worth it? You shouldn't ask me that. I would genuinely look more into what, like, Marco Yolo says about that. I'm not as good with understanding the perks and the like. Hey, Raven, are there any actors that you still like in Hollywood? There are plenty of actors I still like in Hollywood. I just don't think good That's the thing. I think there can be great actors, but very shit writers and directors. Like, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, we're just here to have fun tonight. I'm not here to sweat too much. I don't want to sweat too much because of this guy. Who's your favorite Jedi from Star Wars? Yoda. Because Yoda's a G. You can't touch Yoda, okay? Yoda is just the absolute unit. You step to my boy Yoda, you're going to meet the little green man, okay? Could you do Conk if the... Oh, sorry, I just picked Shaolin. I'll do Conk later. Could you do Conk if that guy is still a Kyoshin? Beat all guard punish in the game? Yeah, you're right. It would beat him, wouldn't it? Okay, if he ends up playing next round as a Kyoshin, I will go Conk to counter him. Okay, I thought you were also really good. I'm just a newbie looking for advice. Yeah, here's the thing. I think I'm very average. I don't think I'm good. I mean, I can tell you my thoughts, but there are going to be people who know more than me. Like, I could tell you my opinion on certain perks and certain characters and playstyles, but if Havoc or Freeze or Marco Yolo came along to say, no, this is what you should do, trust them over me, genuinely. Okay, food question. Is an Asian style noodle bowl, do you prefer the noodles to be hot or cold? Hot, 100%. I prefer hot noodles. Udon just doesn't taste the same. What the? Oh, hold on. My phone literally heard me respond to that and thought that I was asking it a Google question. What the hell? That is weird how it did that. But anyway, no, like genuinely, I gotta go with hot because udon to me, like udon and yakisoba cold just doesn't taste right. Double Kyoshin. Oh, this is gonna be hell. This is gonna be a special kind of hell. Anyway. Hey Raven, what's your favorite Lego game? I don't really play the Lego games. Hey guys, did you know it was funny? Hey, by the way, why do we have the Sharingan? I don't know. Darth Sidious goes through apprentices like Homer Simpson goes through donuts. Yeah, Sidious gets a lot of apprentices, doesn't he? Oh, hi, guys. I always try to punish with a guard break way too soon. Like, I need to stop. One of my biggest problems is that I need to stop trying to punish with a guard break after they miss, because especially with characters like Gladiator, they can just flow right from their miss into another attack, and that just makes it impossible. Yoda, the Grandmaster, who supports baby snatching. I don't know anything about that. I personally believe Sidious has no intention of continuing the rule of two. No, he does. He still continues the rule of two. He got mad at Darth Vader when Darth Vader took an apprentice, and he told Luke to kill his father so that he could take his place. Crap. David got the kill. That's what I'm talking about. I'm about to get company, and it's the Kyoshin again. Oh, crap. Oof. That's gotta suck, Kyoshin. How? Where does that tracking come from? Oh my lord! I don't understand it. Both Warmonger and Gladiator have this weird tracking where it's like, okay, I dodged, nope, I still hit you. What the hell? Oh man. I just do. Maybe I'm not meant to understand that. Maybe I'm not meant to understand how that works. Because I always feel like I dodged and I should have avoided the attack, but then somehow it just tracks me into oblivion. I'm about to get company, aren't I? Oh, hi. I don't even care if we lose. I'm beating this guy up. Crap. That Raider's good. Can't question it. Anyway. Oh well, we won't win this one. I'm not having a good night, am I? Raven Knight, have you ever heard of Dawn of the Monsters? No. Never give up the might disconnect? I don't know what you're talking about. Never give up, they might disconnect. Wait, one of them did just disconnect. One of the Kyoshins. That's cool. I'll take that. God, this guy. Raiders, man. Just can't deal with them. It just goes to show I'm not good at this game. Everyone who thinks, oh, he's a YouTuber, he's good. I'm not. Maybe I can give him a little surprise. Ooh, what a duo. I love that, man. Hey, Raven, would you consider doing a Bible study type thing? If people would watch it. That's a thing. I'm not sure how many people actually like me talking about my faith. Man, we are not going down quiet, I'll tell you that. I like hearing your Bible talk. I know you do. I know I have a small group of people who like it, but it's not everybody. Watch him throw a fire flask. Watch this guy throw a fire. Oh, wait, no, he's going to run away. Crap. Don't quite know how to beat that dude. He is a tough cookie. Got to go to A to back up our boy. He's dead. Raven Knight might not be good at the game, but he's awesome at writing stories. I'll take that. Man, that warmonger got a little scared. Had to throw out that corruption. I love it though. Yeah. All right, we took back C. They're holding A. They're just holding A. And there's the fire flask. I knew it was coming. I took him with me. That's all I care about. I took him with me. Anyway. I'm genuinely curious about your faith. Maybe it would be either on the main channel or the writing channel. No one watches my writing channel. Like, it gets so few looks. Who's right? Thanks. Dude, you're a light spamming Kyoshin. Don't think you're good, please. Don't think you're actually worth anything. Well, good fight. Man. I have a feeling you're going to pull out, Kyoshin. I really do. Raven is basically Sai from Naruto, but instead of drawing, it's writing. Sai was always weird to me. I'm just going to be honest. Hey, Raven, which hero do you think takes the less skill to use? Raider, honestly, is pretty basic to use. Like, there's no question. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I was right. He pulled out after that one. We kicked his ass in the previous game, and then in this game he won. Had to throw his quick chat spam, and then yeeted himself out. He didn't want to go for a round 3. Anyway. Why does your second channel not get a lot of views? Because most people don't care about my writing. I mean, let me put it this way. Just yesterday, I released my Death Diary, one of my Death Diary entries. It currently has, I think, 20 views since it was released yesterday. It's got 1 comment, I think. Like, it barely has anything. Most people don't watch my writing channel. That's why I've been slow about releasing stuff, because I feel so little motivation to keep adding to it. I don't make any money off of it. Nobody watches it. It's like, why keep releasing stuff when no one gives half a damn? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Ravenite, what are your thoughts on the male actors who are in modern movies, shows, cartoons? Do you think they get treated unfairly? Some of them do, but I don't think many of them care. I did not know a new one was released. I need to watch it. I update on what's released from the channel constantly on Discord. So if you're on Discord, you'll get updates. All right, let's see what we're up against this time. Should be interesting. At what rep does Shinobi get the new gear, 5 or 7? I don't know, because my Shinobi's always been high rep sent, so I don't know. Enjoy what you do, the rest will follow. I do enjoy what I do, but I also have bills to pay, so I sometimes do have to go where the money is. Raven, do you like roller coasters? Some of them. Depends on the kind of roller coaster. But I mean, I enjoy making videos. Like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the process. Just sometimes, you know, things happen. It do be like that sometimes, and like that sometimes it do be a doobie-doo. All right, let's do it. Raven, would it be cool if PK had a Plague Doctor outfit? She could. They have a Plague Doctor mask, so you could just give her the outfit with the Plague Doctor mask, and that would do it just fine. I got him, bro. I got him. Don't worry about it, Labaj. Woo! That Nusha was pretty good, not gonna lie. Actually, have y'all seen Havoc's video about Nusha being top tier in duels? I have to agree. Nusha is top tier in duels, like no question. But in Dominion, she's pretty weak. Whoa, got the kill, okay. For a character with so many sets, Shinobi really does have a very repetitive attack. He kind of does. Any S for stupid content coming? Not right now. There we go. Turn B around. That's one of the good things about Shinobi. His zone attack can clear B lane pretty quick. Not a lot I could do there. Anyway, Raven Shinobi trumps every other reason. No Uchiha logo. Yeah, I get so sick of the Uchiha logo. So who's the quickest at clearing the minion lane? Genuinely, you should go with either Medjai or Zhongjun. Those two clear very quick. Yeah, it looks like they're just having a party in B. I better head down there. Hold on a second. We're going to the Shadow Realm, brother. Was that what you were waiting for? You were waiting for me to do a heavy so you could do that? Okay. Yeah, let me guess. You're PC? Definitely PC. Definitely PC. Let me check. No, you're a PlayStation? What? Thank you, Labaj. Appreciate that. He was just trying to style on me with deflex. That is so annoying. Anyway. I do miss Shinobi's range attack. I don't. He could basically hide off screen and just throw heavies at you consistently. Like, it was very irritating. Holy damn. Okay, that just happened. Raven, do you think the woke and political stuff is going to end? Probably not. I just don't think it'll be as prominent. Do PC players have an advantage? Yeah, better frame rates. I don't want to blame everything that happens on that kind of stuff, because genuinely, Wow. Yeah, we both threw our feet for that one. That was the point, is how a real ninja would fight with the Kusarigama. No, because this isn't a real Kusarigama. Made that very clear in previous videos. Oh, you're saying that because of what Gaijin Goomba said, aren't you? Yeah, I said my piece on Gaijin Goomba. Yeah, this Gladiator basically, he doesn't do anything aggressive, he reacts to me, so. But yeah, genuinely, like, that is a major difference. Frame rate is a big deal. Both wings have their problems, which is why I apologize again by choosing not to play. Yeah. Although I do have my preferred side. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, hush up. There we go. Turn that around. Let's go check out A. There we go. Get those bombs dropping. Okay. Wait for it. Oh! Excuse me. That's how it be. Can you play PK or Valkyrie next round? Sure. Got him! Oh my gosh, that was such a good turnaround. Loved it. You fight lots of toxic people. I always have griefers on my team. Yeah, it happens. To be fair, I didn't use the range attack that often, though I would have preferred if Shinobi had a true Kusarigama. That would have been nice. But yeah, this is not a real Kusarigama. This is just a pair of Kama with chains on them. They're not real Kusarigama. And I saw the Gaijin Goomba video on it, and Gaijin just, he annoys me. But yeah, I'll do PK next. I'll do PK next. I love those bombs, particularly when the enemy is breaking. The last conqueror will not die. It's really fun to just launch those and just win because you literally cannot win on fights. I always find it annoying when people, as the team is breaking, just start lobbing their bombs like kill, kill, kill. I don't know why. It just bothers me. Maybe it's because I'm kind of like, no, man, you've already won. Why even use those? But then again, at the same time, I understand it because it's like we want to win quick, I guess. I would have preferred if Shinobi had a set aside. That would have been cool. All right, Peacekeeper time. I wish Hannah were here. She loves Peacekeeper. Yeah, Hannah's not here tonight. Hannah had to go on a trip for work. She won't be back until tomorrow. Oh, Labaj, you're playing my female lawbringer. Cool. I like Shinobi in this game, don't get me wrong, but he's very much pop culture Shinobi. And you know what, I'm going to be talking about that in my next For Honor lore discussion video when I talk about the samurai. I'm going to talk about the fact that the samurai are very much more pop culture than they are historical. And I'm going to talk about why that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can become a hindering thing. Because if you think about it, almost all the samurai are very pop culture based. Like, You have the Shinobi, who are very pop culture. You have the Kyoshin, who are very pop culture. You have the Orochi. Oh, what's this? $20 from Dale Expert. We bring you the $20 to bring you an atomic message. Your waifu is trash. If you gank your scum. If you want happiness and joy in life, follow the greater good, and the greater good you will have happiness and joy. So first, your waifu is trash. You don't even know who my waifu is. If you gank your scum, oh, I'll agree with that. If you want happiness and joy in life, follow the greater good. No. In the greater good, you will have happiness and joy. No, I will not submit to the weeaboo space communists. Hey, Raven, will you make side stories on For Honor and Glory, the perspective of the people of Heathmore, like what you did for the kid in the Samurai Village? I mean, I make my Legends videos. Do those count? We might have a Smurf on the enemy team. Maybe. It's possible. I just assume that everyone I fight is a better than me player. Just makes it easier. Because I don't go easy on anyone. Like, I just can't. I have to fight my best. Hot Fuzz reference. I like that. I mean, yes, I would like to see it from a non-soldier perspective. Oh, so you want to hear like a civilian story? I might do like a short story from the perspective of a civilian during the Inquisition. That might be fun. Well, I got 2 kills. That was rough. Peacekeeper's hard. I'm not going to lie. Peacekeeper needs help. Anyway, the Unified Holocene era is 12-0-23. Okay, I didn't ask. Well, that happened. Anyway. Maybe a few side stories about the faction leaders and their perspectives on the conflicts around them. I mean, I could try, but I mean, I'm sure that would contradict with the current lore. I just thought about this. For Honor is who Deadliest Warrior wanted to be, but cooler. Yeah, many people have said that. It's basically Deadliest Warrior the game. And Raven, if you want to win with Peacekeeper, more run the thick skin feed. It helps you survive a little bit longer. I can give it a shot, sure. Oh great, they're gonna be a ganking duo. Grab! Ah, I was doing good too. I had him going. There's 45 people watching, but only 5 likes. 45 people watching? Wow. That's actually a surprise. Okay, this guy always assumes that I'm going to guard break him out of an unblockable. So from now on, I'm just going to let my unblockable swing. From now on, I'm just going to catch him with that because he is assuming that I'm always going to go for the guard break. I need to start playing with his mind. I need to start countering that. For me, it says 23 likes. Really? Oh. Why are all four of us here? This is a terrible idea. I'm leaving. Never, ever, ever get all four people in one zone. You basically sacrifice movement around the map. I'm going to C. Ah, he finally wised up. Crap. Crap. I thought I dodged that. I hate it when things don't come together. Anyway. And 40 watching. Yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting many people to watch, I'll be honest. I was expecting like maybe 12 or 20, somewhere in that range. How'd I do with Oh, 8 kills and 3 deaths. That ain't bad for me. That ain't bad for Peacekeeper. Usually when I play Peacekeeper, I just get my ass kicked. But I love Peacekeeper, guys. I really do. I wish that she had more love than she does. Got the execution. I'll give that execution that. It is incredibly fast. What you doing, dude? There we go. Anyway, I feel like the enemy Kensei, Highlander, Zanu, and Griffin always have it in for me specifically. I don't know why that would be, though. It's weird that they nerfed Pirate, Afira, and Ocelot, but not Magi. I don't know, maybe they don't know how to nerf him yet. Hi, Raven. Hi, Joining Bread. Hey, Raven, do you think the For Honor community will still be together after the servers close? I do not know. Good question. I made several Russian bot programs who believe they're real people with families in the past to watch these videos. Some of you may be them. Oh, so good to know that my community is mostly artificial. Now I'm sad. Now I'm very sad. All right, I think it's time for us to switch over to Breach now. It's time for us to chill out and do some Breach. That was a good match, but it's time to do Breach. All right. After the servers closed, from what I've gleaned, it's barely together now. No, it's there. It's just not happy with itself. Anyway, let's see. Hey, Raven, what's your opinion on the X-Men? Depends. Some version of the X-Men I like the X-Men animated show. But I've never watched the live-action movies. I didn't really care to. X-Men Evolution was kind of cool at first, kind of like an X-Men version of Teen Titans, but it's novelty grated on me after a while, so I couldn't enjoy it as much. You know what? Let's go ahead and get Raider up there. Let's go ahead and get Raider up to that coveted Rep 32. Let's make that happen. Should I play Warlord or Aramusha when I get on For Honor? Warlord. Also, Raven, how you doing? I'm doing okay, just tired. Maybe you're a bot, Raven, you just don't know. Everything is a lie. I have once thought of the idea, like, I wrote this story, right? I wrote this story called Nighthawk, and in the story there was this girl who turned out was an android, you know, and she was created artificially to be a secret weapon of the United States, and she couldn't believe it and couldn't stand it, you know, like it's one of those things. So I've played with ideas like that. So many high reps, wow. Yeah, I like high reps. Don't forget XP boost. I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten. This match will get Raider up there. Hey Raven, how do you make death unique from other versions? Oh, well, what I do is I try to explore the concept of death if he was an angel, so I take away the God aspect. I also don't make him evil. I don't like the idea of an evil death. I think that's silly. I try to make him someone who's seen a lot of things and has a lot of thoughts to share, but doesn't feel like he can share them. I want him to be someone who genuinely he's someone who is depressed, not because of his job, although that's part of it, but because he feels like he can't associate with anyone. He feels like he brings nothing but pain, even though he knows his job is important. You are in the Knight faction? Yeah, I'm a Knight. Yeah, I'm a Knight faction. Funny thing, when I first played For Honor, I was a Samurai faction because my girlfriend at the time was Japanese. But then I switched to Knight, I think in year 3 or 4, because I was doing research into my family and found out that my ancestors are Knights. Yep, it's true. I have ancestors in the Knights of Malta and the Teutonic Order. So I'm like, sweet, I need to switch to the Knights because I am a Knight. My blood comes from the Knights. I think it's really cool too. The Hospitallers and the Teutonic Order are two of the most powerful Knight orders ever. How come I couldn't guard break that? What? Don't do anything funny, Yorm. Alright, I need to go heal up. I'm near dead. How can I find out what my ancestor warriors were? Well, what we did was we were doing some research into my dad's bloodline, and we were going back, and in the year in between the 12th to 14th century, we traced our lineage back to Malta. And the Hospitallers at that time were based in Malta. So that's when they were known as the Knights of Malta. Any thoughts on Hunt Showdown, Raven Knight? Never played it. There we go. I've had enough of that guy. All right, let's see. Let's see. Can you explain why there are 2 mill on one spot in your Knight area? Is there a tactical reason? No. People just put it there. My light bulb died. Turn it back on. Oh. No. Ooh, killed with 1 zone. 2 killed with 1 zone. That felt good. Anyway. My ancestors were royal guards of the King of Sweden up until the king said, we're going to war with Russia, at which point they looked at each other and went, we, before sailing to America. That sounds about right. Crap. Who is we? You speaking French? It's kind of cool to find out that I had ancestors who were knights. That is a pretty cool thing to find out. I like that. I am down for that. Let's run him over. Whee! Aha! Boom! I'm Mexican, but not sure if I have Aztec blood in me. Always hard to tell. My family is Irish, and we found out that we have a family crest. Oh yeah, we actually have a family crest too. It's kind of cool. Ours has a raven on it, actually. We even have a family Bible verse, believe it or not. It's pretty cool. Wait, what? Oh, because of the ocelotl thing. Oh, hold on, I got a text. Let me check something. I got a text. 1 second, guys, 1 second. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. That figures? What figures, Kensei? What figures? Raven, stop making us jealous. I'm not trying to make y'all jealous. Just, we're having fun here. My family has Emperor Maximilian II in its bloodline. Oh, that's sick. As well as Clan Campbell in Scotland and the House of Burgundy in France. Wow, that is an impressive family record. The coolest person in our family tree that I can think of is there was a Roman emperor. Well, who was it? We have the family tree. We have the family tree somewhere around here. I need to pull it up, but I can't right now because I'm fighting a Black Prior. The Raven coat of arms. Yeah, it's sick. It's very sick. I'm gonna dump this. There we go. But yeah, we have a family crest and a family Bible verse, which acts as our clan motto. So Christian to the core. Whee! Oh wait, who's there? Dang it! No, we gotta stop him. And don't get me wrong, just because I have Knight ancestry doesn't mean I don't adore the other factions. Vikings, Samurai, Wu-Lin, they're all kick-ass to me. My family motto is there's no love in board games. I like that. Ours is Luke 12:24 in the Bible. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and God feedeth them. How much more better than you are fowls? Basically, the Bible verse is basically pointing out that God provides for the ravens. They ask for nothing. God always gives what they need. And aren't you more important to God than birds? Basically. So it's like, consider the fact that God provides for the ravens, therefore think of how much more he wants to provide for you. Yeah, legit. That's our family motto, a Bible verse. That's probably why our last name means Raven. Raven has proficiency in religion and healing. I'm a paladin. Which hero has the power of God and anime on their side? Okay, only one can, and that's Nobushi. And the reason why is because if Nobushi gets into a relationship with Warden, then she will have the power of God. And since she's a samurai, she'll have the power of anime on her side. Raven, how do I find my father's bloodline? I will need to ask my dad how he found out about his, because I can't tell you. I need to ask my dad. What happened was our dad did the research, sent it to me and Lark, and asked, can you tell us what this might mean? And we looked at it and did our research and found out. Sorry, bro. How come during the flood the dove got a second shot at finding land but the raven didn't? Not sure. Could be because the raven needed to rest and the dove didn't. Who knows? Because you sent out the raven first, the raven comes back exhausted with nothing. So let the raven rest and not a dove for the second round. No, I think the raven did come back because, remember, the first time he sent out the dove, it returned with an olive branch in its beak, which means that the trees were peeking above. He sent the dove out again, and the dove didn't come back, which meant that there was dry land somewhere. $10 from Dale Expert. Hey Raven, are the angels God's soldiers? Also to the chat, keep shredding the word of the greater good, your Imperium sheep that feed on corpse starch. The angels are God's messengers and God's soldiers and God's emissaries, God's ambassadors. The angels serve a lot of roles. Raven, I forgot to ask, how do you rate my new Lawbringer, the one I used before the Impaler? Oh, I liked him. He was sick. All right. Look at the side of that thing. It's so big. My mother's side of the family has a French name because their French family name, because they're from the Cajun bra. The angels do way more than I thought they did. The angels are primarily messengers of God because they deliver messages from God to mortals, but they're also his soldiers because it says in the Bible that with a single word, Jesus could have called down angels to pull him off the cross. Like legit, if Jesus wanted to, when he was on the cross, he could have called in an entire army of angels and they would have rushed to defend him. And yeah, angels are definitely soldiers. They are warriors. The only notable distant relative we found is David Bank 6. He was oh, cool. I like how Supernatural depicted angels as elitist jerks. Seem very realistic. Dude, okay, why do you think that seems realistic? Why is that realistic? Angels are not written as elitist jerks in the Bible. And I know why you wrote that. You put that in to try to piss me off. But please, explain to me, what evidence from the Bible tells you that angels are elitist jerks? I'm interested to know. I love your Bible verse that tells me that angels are elitist jerks. We won. Yep, won this one. Oh, knocked it off. Sweet. And that should get Raider up there. Yay! Yay! Raider is now rep 32. Sweet. Oh wow, just fly up there, Raider. I guess you didn't enjoy the movie Legion. No, because Legion was entirely non-biblically accurate. Is that why you like the way Supernatural was depicted? Because their angels were like the ones from Legion? That's ridiculous. That is ludicrous. That's like saying that I should like that's like saying I should believe that Vikings are all like from the show Vikings. Or know that they're all like Thor from Marvel. That's ridiculous. Legion was entirely biblically inaccurate. God. Putting milk in before the cereal, that is heresy. You know that, right? That is unquestionably heresy. Let's bring in, since we have a XP Fest, I kind of want to do Deborah. I haven't done her in a while. Isn't Michael, the archangel, considered the angel of war? Michael is the one written in the Bible that he's the one who fights and defeats Lucifer and locks him away for 1,000 years. So yes, he is depicted as an angel of war because he is the one shown doing the most war. But all angels are capable of warfare. They're all fighters. What do you think would be a cool faction introduced to For Honor? The Rajputs. I would definitely want the Rajputs. I remember hearing somewhere that angels don't consciously hold back and God has to frequently step in to tell them what to stop. That was written about in 2 parts of the Bible where God stepped in to stop an angel from doing something. But it does not mean that they can't unconsciously hold back. It basically means that if they're given an order, they will follow through with it to the letter until told not to. Because angels are strictly obedient to the word of God. So, the first example that many people point to is when God told Abraham to kill his own son, right? Wait, I'm trying. That's not what I'm thinking of. What's the one I'm thinking of? What's the one I'm thinking of? It's not what God told Abraham to do. It'll come to me. But now the idea is that the angels are unquestionably loyal to the Lord and will follow his instructions to the letter because he is worthy of their devotion. And so because of that, they will do what he tells them when he tells them. What if there was a Rajput in the Mamluk and the Wulin faction? But Afir is the Mamluk. Anyway, Raven, I may be related to a Scottish clan with lands and even a castle. The words non Tamio said Cavio and the sigil Azure Stag, but it's a maybe with the last names being similar. Who knows? You could be right. Imagine seeing a bunch of eyes and wings and say, chill, man, we cool. Angels can look like whatever the heck they want to look like. You know, that's one thing to keep in mind about angels. Angels can appear as they wish to. Anyway, I'm sure you've been asked already, but what do you think of the Viking? What do you think the Viking hero will be like, or any hopes for them? I've seen people say he or she will be unarmed, but I personally am really iffy on it. I don't think she'll be unarmed. I do think it'll be a she, because if they keep in the pattern of boy, girl, I think it'll be a woman that comes out. And my early thoughts, she'll be some kind of shield mage. She'll probably have an axe and shield or something, or maybe some kind of dagger weapon. But it's hard for me to know. I do not think that she will be unarmed. I don't see that happening. Until Afir is called a Mamluk in the lore and game, I'm hoping for a Mamluk warrior. She's based on the Mamluks, dude. Like, there's no question. And I know that you want one. I don't think it's going to happen. If the For Honor developers consider her their base on the Mamluk, they're not going to add another. Besides, keep in mind, if they directly state, like, there's a Mamluk hero, that means that Mamluk comes with all the baggage of the original Mamluks. So, was genuine question, I never got an answer to, was Lucifer and the angels given free will because it all portrays that angels can't rebel against God, but Lucifer did? The angels have free will. The angels do have free will, and Lucifer had free will. The problem that Lucifer had was he decided to claim that he was equal to God, in some ways better than God. He basically said, I'm just as good as God, I deserve to sit on the throne. That is blasphemy of the highest order, so God cast him out of heaven. And all of Satan's followers who agreed with him were cast out too. The angels have free will. They have the freedom to choose for themselves who they stand with. Those who stand with God are absolutely obedient to him because they choose to be. The angels who betrayed God chose to be betrayers. So that's how that worked. Hey Raven, what is your opinion on the mostly good or at least non-blatantly evil demon Prince Stolas who looks like an owl or a raven? I don't have any opinions on him one way or another. He's a demon mentioned in the Book of Solomon. Like, he's not mentioned in the Bible, so I can't even verify that he's real. Even if he is real, like, he has no power over me. I know that he's mentioned in Has Been Hotel, or no, it's not Has Been Hotel. It's Hell of a Boss. Isn't he that dude who's in a bad relationship? Oh, hey, Aaron. I was wondering when you'd show up. Essentially, from what I read, when angels do come and visit people, they choose a form that would most comfortable to the human eye. Actually, okay, true story. Want to hear something cool? There were these folks at my church, and they legit had an encounter with an angel, or at least they think they did. I can't verify it, of course. But okay, so here's what happened. So what happened was they were at the beach, right? And they were going for a walk, and they saw this little girl. Now it was super early in the morning. And there weren't a lot of people out, but they just saw this little girl playing by herself, and there were no adults around. So they asked the girl if she was okay. She said, yeah, she's fine. They asked, where are your parents? Said that her dad passed away some time ago, and her mom had been called away on a work call, so she wasn't there, and she told her to stay here and not go anywhere. And said, how long ago was that? And she said it was about half an hour ago. They're like, you've been by yourself for half an hour? That's dangerous. And he said, oh no, the man was with me. Apparently a man showed up and sat with her and just, stayed with her for a long time. And the man even gave her toys to play with, just watched her. And then they said, well, where is he now? And she said, he was here literally just a moment ago, just a second ago. And they look around and there's no one there. And it is our belief that they might have had an encounter with an angel. God sent an angel to watch that child, because she couldn't have been older than 5 or 6. Anyway. Honestly, that whole universe makes no sense, that the hell would be organized, particularly if God's distracted. Why does he not notice hell's actions on earth? I can't stand Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. I just can't stand them. That's a story. Dude, here's the thing. I wasn't there for it. I don't know. These were friends of ours from church who told it to me. If it is true, that is incredible, okay? But genuinely, I do believe that angels walk amongst us. I believe that. Wait a second. The Crusader, are you a fan of mine? Because that's my emblem on your back. That is crazy. Is that the Crusader? That's crazy. I love it when Raven's alone streams become theology talk. It's fun. I don't control it. I mean, I'm glad that they do. What do you think Ubisoft? What event do you think Ubisoft should bring back to For Honor? I personally hope for the DVD crossover. Yeah, that one was cool. I still like the Jormungandr event. I also like Feast of the Otherworld. Feast of the Otherworld was fun, man. I like that one. Raven would make a good preacher. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Actually, I gave a sort of sermon the other night to my Bible study group. It was kind of fun. I basically talked about the first chapter of Joshua. Raven, do you study pagan mythology? Yeah, I've studied it. I've studied some pagan mythology. I used to really be into Greek mythology for a while, and I also studied the Norse mythology. Did a little bit of research on the Aztec mythology, but not a whole lot. I won't claim that I'm an expert on that. Let's see. I studied the Egyptian mythology a little, but I'm not familiar with all of it. I know the Japanese mythology a fair bit. Do you think another Celtic character being added would work? It could. Yeah, succubus basically act openly in the show with human disguises, of course, but show it so hard for the church to see such massive blatant displays of sin that they wouldn't do anything to stop it. Which show are you talking about? For Honor and DVD should have another crossover, but have other, more killer effects. Yeah, I agree with that. I want to see not just the trapper and the huntress. I want to see like the actual knight and the Oni. I want to see them show up. Raven, would you rather be a Buddhist warrior or a Christian warrior monk? A Christian warrior monk, dude. I'd totally be a Templar or a Hospitaller, since those are my ancestors. Buddhist warrior monks, I mean, they're cool and all, but yeah, dude, Christian warrior monks are where it's at. Okay, they're awesome. Hey, Raven, do you know any good sites to study mythology? Ah, gosh, there was a good one that I remember, but I haven't seen it in years because I haven't focused as much on mythology in recent years. I asked knowing that you'll pay Christian, but at the same time, it's like they're both distinctly cool. They are cool, don't get me wrong. Buddhist militant monks, pretty kick-ass, but you have no idea how just absolutely top tier the Templars were. Like, everyone likes to talk, oh, they're evil because of Assassin's Creed. You have no idea how kick-ass they were during the Crusades, dude. Like, like they were amazing. Hey, what kind of shield did the Wulin use in battle? You mean in the game or in real life? Because the Chinese had many different kinds of shields. Large tower shields, turtle shields, circular and octagonal shields. They had lots of kinds. My favorite kami are Susanoo, Mikoto, Raijin, Fujin, and Hachiman. Yeah, you named the four most popular, yeah. Would you say the Teutonic Order did more good or bad to Christianity? The Teutonic Order didn't do anything bad to Christianity, I would say. They didn't do everything right, but Christianity still flourished despite them. But they also did some good things too. I think that the Teutonic Order, while not perfect by any means, but then again, you could say that all the Knight Orders have something to well, even the Hospitallers were just kind of genuinely good guys. Like, that's the funny thing. The Templars might have gotten a little greedy with their banking practices. The Teutonic Order went a little overzealous. The Hospitallers, top tier, man. Like the Hospitallers are like amazing, man. And Ubisoft is very clearly biased against Christianity, so take everything they say with a pinch of salt. Yeah. But Raven, didn't they drive out the Baltic pagans? Yes, they did, but you need to consider what was going on at the time. So here's what was basically going on. The church was trying to trade in that territory, like the church was trying to trade in that territory in the Baltic lands. Pagan wars amongst each other were very common and caused a lot of problems, and merchants were killed or interfered with. So the church tried to help that problem by bringing in missionaries and trying to convert the pagans and trying to help them out. And the pagans said, no, we don't want that, and actually started killing or brutally harming the priests and missionaries that were sent over. So they tried setting up towns and villages where they could try to mingle and try to learn the ways of the people there and try to mingle with the populace. The pagans started attacking and stealing from them. So finally they said, look, if you don't stop, we're going to have to do something about it. The pagans, thinking the Christians were a weak, passive religion, said, you won't do shit. Okay, time for a crusade, baby. And thus came the Teutonic Order. Now, did the Teutonic Order go too far at times? Oh, hell yes, they did. There is no question of that. They absolutely did. But the pagans didn't do themselves any favors. They killed a lot of Christian missionaries who meant them no harm. And the Teutonic Order came in and started kicking their asses to make sure that they couldn't kill any more Christians or abuse them. I don't condone everything that the Teutonic Order did. But to say that they were just evil for pushing out the pagans, there was way more to it than that. Because keep in mind, the Teutonic Order could not have gone in without the Pope's permission. And the Pope wouldn't just send them into the Baltic lands just to push out pagans. There had to be a reason they could give. Because think about it, at the time period that that's what happened, people weren't too fond of the idea of just killing random people, because the church's stance was, we want to convert, not kill. So if we just said, we're going to send in a bunch of people to kill these guys so that we can take their land, and people are going to say, that's not very Christian. So they needed a better reason than that, and the pagans kindly gave it. Christianity is anything but weak, but many people consider it weak because Jesus taught us to love our neighbors. Anyway, Harry, who do you think is the strongest character in For Honor based on an IRL research? Like physically strongest or most powerful? Clarify that. Forgive me for my ignorance, but wouldn't it be safe to say that the Knights Templar became the first bankers? They weren't the first bankers, but they were one of the most prominent bankers because that was that's one good thing that came from Crusader states. We started setting up international banking between the European lands and the Middle Eastern lands, and that was largely thanks to the Templars. The Templars could be considered one of the earliest banks because of this. The missionaries should have left well enough alone to not force people to convert to their religion. Let me ask you this then, Kensei, and I want a real answer. What should we have done about the pagans who were killing the missionaries? What should we have done about the pagans who were killing the merchants that the church sent to trade in those lands? Would you have liked them to have just ignored those too? See, that's the thing. You say that the missionaries should have left well enough alone. Okay, then what should the pagans have done? Maybe they should have left the Christians alone. I'd like your answer to that. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Diplomacy is nice, but there comes a point where enough is enough. That's the thing. That you've got to try for diplomacy, but if you are in danger or if you are in threat, it's time to act. Raven, how strong were the bodies of Knights, Samurai, Wulin, and Vikings, the IRL versions? Knights, Samurai, Vikings, and Wulin all had to go through strict physical training regimens. The Vikings probably would have had a bit of a strength advantage over the others based on body size, but the Knights wouldn't have been far behind. The Samurai were trained, the Wulin and Samurai would have been trained and disciplined in martial arts, but the Knights and Vikings had their own version of the martial arts, so I would say probably leaning more on the Vikings and Knights. Are there any accounts of famous Arab warriors joining the Crusaders? There were Arab warriors who joined the Crusader forces and became Christian. These do happen, but there are none that I can think of by name. But it did happen. All right, let's see. Who do I want to go? I want to go Nobu. I want to go Nobushi. Nobuwushi. Let's go Nobu. It's funny how Christianity spread mostly through trade rather than by the sword, and when they do fight, it's usually in self-defense. Very true. Usually what happened was, now there were some situations of forced conversions. That did happen in some areas, like particularly in Mesoamerica and certain parts of the Baltics, but usually that's not what happened. Christianity didn't try to force conversion by the sword. That was actually more of a Muslim and pagan tactic. Usually what happened was Christians tried to incorporate trade and missionary tactics, but the problem is missionaries were usually attacked. The Vikings traded with people just fine when no one was forcing their beliefs on them. Do you want to know what most Vikings did when the Christians showed up? Converted, because it was easier. Christianity was just a much more logical religion to them. And please explain the Great Heathen Army, Kensei. Explain the Great Heathen Army invading Europe and England and actually doing bloody eagles to lords and kings who didn't accept the Norse pagans and denounce Christ. And you say the same with the Japanese. Did you know that there were Japanese that after the Shimamoto Rebellion, many daimyo were forced to convert back to Shintoism and get rid of their Christian beliefs, or they would be either forced to commit seppuku or exiled from Japan? See, you keep trying to say that pagans and the Japanese were just fine without Christianity, but I want you to tell me about the moments where they interacted with Christianity, and you tell me who was more violent to the other. The Japanese were coldly against Christianity for a long time. And any daimyo that did accept Christianity after the Shimabara Rebellion were forced to give up their beliefs. And as for the Vikings, yeah, the Vikings and the Christians didn't always get along, but who was more hostile to who in that situation? I remember a great heathen army showing up, and I remember many Vikings converting and becoming the famous Norman Knights. Do I think Conqueror's a real criminal? No. I think he's based on highwaymen. Speaking of samurai, weren't there some English dude that became a samurai? Yeah, there were two actually, by the name of William Adams. Did Vikings ever win against full-fledged professional armies head on? Yes, but it wasn't common. The great heathen army was revenge for Ragnar's death. What was Ragnar doing in England? No, you don't get to do that. What was Ragnar doing in England? What was he doing? Finish that statement. I want you to tell me how the Vikings treated Christians. I want you to tell me how the Vikings treated Christians, and you tell me how poor and oppressed those poor pagans were. Hit me up about it. So Raven, based on my question earlier, I was talking about their strength and skill compared to others. Samurai probably were more trained in several more disciplines than the others, but I would give the knights probably more experience. Vikings never raided and pillaged the Christians or anything for no reason. Oh, wait. Exactly. Why did the Japanese go into isolationism? Largely because the Japanese had a huge superiority complex that made them believe that they didn't need to incorporate anything from the Western world. They believed that anything from the outside world was just going to corrupt them or corrupt their society because they were tired of the black shit policy. And so they activated the Sukoku policy, which basically locked them up from the outside world to protect their way of life. It had some benefits. It basically ensured them a level of peace for like several hundred years. But it also was a bad thing because once the Western world came knocking, they didn't have the technology to even match it. Here's the reality. The Christian doctrine, the Christian belief system, teaches us to go to others and spread our faith to save them, because we believe, Christians believe, that there's going to come a day where you die, and when you die, your soul is going to either go to heaven or hell, and the only way to get to heaven is through a relationship with Jesus. So because we care about other people, we want to bring the message of Christ to all people. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want that message of Christ, that's fine. Just say, we're not interested, and odds are pretty good, we'll leave you alone, just let us preach, and we won't hurt you or bother you. The problem is there were some people, particularly in the Baltic areas and in the Nordic areas, they thought that this was weak religion, thought that it was funny, and thought that we would be easy pickings to attack and steal from. So when that happens, Christians say, all right, well, time for us to fight back. Wasn't it America that dragged Japan out of isolationism, kicking and screaming? Japan and Britain, it was a team effort there. But America did drag them out, yes. Why were Japanese emperors so weak? What do you mean weak? Like, what do you mean by that? I'm just curious. Actually, funny thing is, you want to know something interesting about the Vikings? When most Christian missionaries met the Norman Vikings, many Vikings converted because they found it more agreeable. Actually, it's very funny how many Norse converted. That's where we get the term Norman, because they're Norse men. There were many Vikings who converted because they liked what Christianity taught, and the Norsemen, the Normans, became some of the most effective knights in history. I made a whole video on how I think the Black Prior is based on Norman knights. Even Ruth is largely based on the Normans because she's a Viking turned knight. Hey Raven, I'm curious, but is the Sith ideology anathema to Christianity more than Islam or Zoroastrianism? The Sith ideology? The Sith ideology is all about achieving power through passion. Muslim ideology, here's the thing, the Sith ideology is just weird. A Christian would find, if you had Christians in the Star Wars world, they just find the Sith ideology weird. The Islam ideology is what most Christians would find an anathema. As for Zoroastrianism, I admittedly don't know nearly as much about Zoroastrian beliefs, so I can't answer that. Vikings had a form of democracy as well as a lot of laws that mesh well with Christianity. At least that's my limited understanding on what I have researched. I don't know every single detail on the matter, but based on what I have learned, essentially what it came down to was it was easier for the Vikings to follow. At the time period that Christianity was coming to the Vikings had pretty much settled all the areas they wanted to. And since a lot of Viking religion is based around, when the Vikings were spreading and trying to spread around Europe, after they reached that peak, there wasn't a lot left for them to do and they started to deteriorate, so Christianity became a lot more agreeable. Satanism teaches people to take personal responsibility rather than relying on divine cop-outs. And before you say it, no, Satanism and devil worship are not the same thing. Ken say, you know what I love about this? You've dodged every question I've asked you. You seem intent on just hating on Christianity, and it's very funny because I keep asking you to back up your statements. You never do. And then you just run to something else to try to be anti-Christian. And I love how you say Satanism teaches people to take personal responsibility rather than relying on divine cop-outs. Let me ask you this. Why is it called Satanism? Who are you worshiping in Satanism? And keep in mind, if you worship anything in Satanism, then that means you're trusting in a divine cop-out. Hey Raven, I have a dog who's about to have puppies. Awesome, man. That's excellent. Hey, how about we talk about the first contact between Vikings and Christians? I'm sure that was a great Boy Scout bonfire. You're not entirely wrong. One of the first major we don't know when the Vikings and the Christians first made contact with each other, but one of the first was when the Vikings landed at a church and kidnapped a bunch of people and stole a bunch of loot and killed a bunch of monks. It was awful. Lindisfarne, yep. Very good. You actually knew the name. I'll admit, I forgot the name for a second. I can't always draw up historical locations right off the top of my head all the time. I was like, what was the name of it? What was the name of it? I knew it's got a name. It starts with an L. I don't remember it. Lindisfarne. No one. Satan is a symbol to Satan. It's not a god. A symbol. He's a symbol to people. Why is he a symbol to people? Why is he a symbol? What did Satan do? Why do they want to live based on Satan? Why do they want to live based on Satan? What did he do? He defied authority. Why does he want to defy authority? So that he could be God. Why would people want to defy authority to be God unless they want to make themselves divine? And by the way, taking personal responsibility, what did Satan do to take personal responsibility? He betrayed his Lord and Master because he thought that he could be better than his Lord and Master. That's not taking personal responsibility. That's the actual opinion of an egotist. So people who say, nah, dude, I follow Satan's example of taking life into my own hands. Congratulations. How is that working out for you, champ? Satan is the perfect example of what not to do. And to be perfectly honest with you, most people who I meet who call themselves Satanists or devil worshippers are the kind of people who just don't want to be called atheists and want to be more edgy against Christians. Christianity also teaches responsibility. Yes, it does. Many of Jesus' parables teach personal responsibility. Japanese influencers can be easily influenced. Well, when you have a shogun who controls all the warriors and samurai, yeah, you can be pretty easily influenced. Why did I do that? Oh crap. No! Warden, stop! I have always looked at Satan in the sense that he's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Why was the shogun title abolished? Because Western influence came in and got rid of it. Because the thing is, the shogun basically was controlling the military, and America came in and said, nah, we're giving power back to the emperor. Now, the Normans did wage wars of conquest as Christians, so yeah, like I'm not going to say that no Christian forever didn't conquer. Oh no, certainly, Christians did conquer. There are plenty of moments they did. You can look at a lot of the ages of exploration and see that Christians did a lot of conquering. I'm not pretending they didn't, and also not pretending there were no Christians who did anything bad. Not at all. There were plenty of bad things done. Many people point to the Fourth Crusade as a really dumbass moment for Christians, and I admit it was a very dumbass moment, so I agree with that. But the idea that Christianity is responsible for all the evil things that ever eviled, no, it's just not true. Life-affirming values and free thinking came first from Satanists? Would you mind a source on that one, sir? Free-thinking values came first from Satanists? Really? Really? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it did not. No, it didn't. That is one of the biggest lies I've ever heard said, and even other Satanists would laugh at you for that one. Holy crap. Holy crap. The Bible also teaches you to be a free thinker. Good Lord. Life-affirming values. God. I think he means they value it first. No, life affirming basically means that you like, I guess you could say it means you value your life first, but no, other religions also believe in that. They put life as valuable. God, that is ridiculous. I'll admit, I've never heard that argument before because I don't think anyone's made an argument quite that silly. Be fruitful and multiply sounds pretty life-affirming. Yep. Yep. There's also the fact that God considers all life sacred. I mean, after all, one of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt not murder. Seems like God values life pretty much. My dad and my friend Yuki are wittier than me when it comes to comebacks and arguments. It's not a matter of wit, dude. This isn't a matter of wit. It's a matter of your arguments don't make any sense. Plus, why are you doing... No, genuinely, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to attack my faith right now? Like, I don't understand your goal here. If you want to have a discussion about Christianity, we can have it, but you haven't tried to have a discussion. You throw out ad hominems about Christianity being bad or about historical situations with the Christians being bad and try to say that Satanism is good for some reason, knowing that I'm not going to like what you have to say. And then when I challenge you with questions, you don't answer any of the questions. You just try to pretend like I didn't say anything and then try to add a new argument. That's not argumentation. Besides, if you really want to be technical about everything, if you're talking about life-affirming stuff where it's like human life first, that would be humanism. Is suicide a surefire way to go to hell? That's a hot button issue in the church. Lots of people talk about it. We're not sure. Some would say yes because you're taking your own life, but others would say no because the circumstances may dictate that you had no choice. And I think what it means is it comes down to God knows your own heart. I think that's what it comes down to. I can't presume. See, that's the thing. Whenever people say, am I going to hell? I go, I can't answer that. I don't know your relationship with God. I think Ken says is trying to get your blood pressure up. Good luck. I'm taking blood pressure medications. Keeps it down. Anyway. After I watched Fury in the scene where that one guy is on fire and he shoots himself, I asked if that meant he was going to hell and was always told yes. I wouldn't say that. Here's the thing. Again, it comes down to personal relationship with Jesus. See, that's the thing. Maybe there's a circumstance, like people always say, well, what if this happened and then this happened because of this reason? Would I still go to hell? I'm like, I don't know. That's between you and God. I can't answer that. Just because things die doesn't mean that they were less magnificent. Death is a part of life. If everything was eternal, then that would be a completely different part of life. That is very true. That is very true. Yazzie Beats, I suck at this game. Don't worry, man. I suck too. There's a preacher I listen to from time to time. He believes that people who believe it's too late to be saved and go to heaven have a much better chance of actually being saved. No, because see, Peter tells us in the book of I think it's 1 Peter, to be assured in your salvation. Like, be assured in it. Like, do not doubt it. You know. I hold that to be truth. So. I think this will be our last match of the night. Last match. For the person who said that God shouldn't allow people to die because that contradicts, because that's allowing his magnificent creation to fail or die, it's part of it. Actually, funny thing, we were having a discussion the other day when we were reading the book of Noah. The book of Genesis, the story of Noah. We were talking about the fact that God did set a cutoff date for humans, like saying that they need to die. And people are like, why would God allow us to die? Well, because he wants us to come home, you know? Can you think about what would happen to humanity if we just stayed here forever? Ever heard the phrase, either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain? Think about all the harm you could do if you lived forever and were able to do anything you effing wanted forever. Like, I mean, it sounds nice at first, but then you start to realize that over time your body starts to deteriorate, things start to break down, you start to get irritable, things change, you don't like how they change. Maybe death in some ways can be a blessing, because death, from the way the Bible talks about it, death is just a step to God, you know. It's just the next, you just cross over. It's like a bridge, you know. It's actually kind of funny. In Harry Potter, when Harry supposedly dies and he meets Dumbledore, he sees himself in King's Cross Station, the train station. That's actually a kind of creative way to look at death. Like, it's just a train station to go to the next life, you know. From what I understand, the Emperor was against the Western influence, but the Shogun wanted it for new weapons. Are you talking about during the Sengoku Jidai? Because no, the Emperor wasn't against it. He had no say. Well, the whole point of the Bible was, in every book, almost was just instructions, and they all say this some sort of way, make our own relationship with him, and pretty much don't follow. I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood that. Raven Knight, did you ever heard of Gotcha Life? Nope. Adam and Eve could have theoretically been immortal if they didn't eat the stupid apple. Actually, yeah, that's true, because keep in mind that what heaven essentially is its presence with God. And in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve walked with God. Like, they could physically walk with God in the garden. But then when they sinned, they could not be in God's presence. Sin cannot exist in God's presence. So God expelled them from his sight into the normal world, and life became difficult for mankind. God wants us to walk by his side again. God wants us to be in his presence again. That's why we get salvation. I can't type a God wants you to make your own relationship with him. God wants you to have a relationship with him, absolutely. And how you go about that relationship, I suppose, is between you and God. I know that most Christians don't all look or act the same. And I know that different people practice their faith in unique ways or spread their mission in unique ways. That's what makes us all unique and different. And God loves us for our difference. Like, none of us are accidents. God has made us all in the way he wants us to be. So that's why whenever people say, I was born in the wrong body. No, you weren't. You just don't like the hands you've been dealt. Do you mind if I ask what sect of Christianity you are? I grew up in Pentecostal and Reformed household, and even though I'm now agnostic, I love hearing Christians talk about their specific beliefs. I am Southern Baptist. I am a Southern Baptist Christian. But the way I look at denominations is this. It does not matter to me what denomination you are. What matters is your relationship with God. You need to answer these questions. Do you know the Lord Jesus Christ? Yes. Do you have a personal relationship? Yes. Do you believe that he died and rose again from the dead so that your sins could be forgiven? Yes. And do you accept his message of salvation as your own? Yes. Then you are saved, my friend. I could care less about your denomination. Now, granted, there are some denominations that add weird practices that I don't exactly agree with. Like, I don't agree with worshiping or venerating the Mother Mary. That is just a big no-no to me. Like, you don't do that. The Mother Mary was not a god. She is not worthy of devotion or something. She's not worthy of worship. Only the Lord is worthy of worship. The Mother Mary is not. She was a special woman, and God chose her among women because God called her blessed among women. But God did not say that she should be worshipped. Not at all. In fact, it's kind of funny. There's a point in the Bible where one of the apostles says, "Hey, Jesus, your family are here. Your family is here." And Jesus said, "Who are my mothers? Who are my brothers? Who are my family? My family are the people who come to hear me." And basically saying, like if God wanted us to worship Mother Mary, he would have said, "Oh, there she is. Worship her too, guys." You know. The damn stream keeps freezing and sending me further and further back in the video. Can say, I'm sorry that's happening to you, but no one else is complaining about that right now. The fruit of knowledge of good and evil is a stupid apple. Yeah, it is. She's a role model. Yes, that's a way to look at it. But she is not someone to worship. My old man considered himself a follower of Christ because too many Christians pride themselves on tradition and not serving and preaching God's salvation. Too many prosperity preachers. Yes. Okay, that is a good point. The Great Commission of Jesus' Great Commission to us was to go forth and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That is part of Christ's message. You know, like you need to, you have been saved. Now spread the salvation. You know. Now that I look at the time, probably shouldn't have gone this last match, but I was having fun. We'll just make this match go quick, huh? Anyway. I was set back a few seconds, just tap the live button to be caught straight up where it is now live. Okay. I respect that answer. I always met Christians that are so vile to other denominations. My family especially hated my parents getting together and effectively denounced my parents and I. Again, that's why I don't really, I mean, there are like maybe one or two denominations that I consider more of a cult than anything. Like I would argue that there are some denominations that I feel aren't real Christians, but that's because of their stance on Christ. Like I've heard a denomination that claimed that Jesus and Lucifer were brothers. That is not true. Because that means that Lucifer was also a son of God, and that's not true. So. You know, there are times where the Lord really does speak to me or try to show me something. I pray constantly that I'm open to what he has to say, because the Lord doesn't speak to us the way he did in the Old Testament. There's no burning bushes. There's no beams of light from the sky that come down and give us the answer. God doesn't speak to us that way. He speaks to us through our faith. And there are times where God, I feel, really is talking to me, like really is trying to say something to me. And I'm like, God, you're telling me something, please, like make me receptive to what you have to say. Open a door for me and I'll go through it, you know. And one of my biggest fears is that God will open a door and I'll be too ignorant to see it. I'll just be too blind to see it. That is a fear of mine. I want to see God Speak to me. What do you think is the best way to read the Bible as a beginner? Look at the Bible and it intimidates me, but how big it is. I would recommend genuinely starting with the book of John. Start with the book of John. I feel like that's a great way to start. The book of John is a great book to get the message of salvation out there. So definitely start there. As for where you go next, maybe start with Genesis. Genesis teaches the story of creation and God's first covenant with man. Hey Raven, what do you think about the temples made for angels? I disagree with those. God did not want us to worship angels. In fact, God said that we are more important than angels to a certain extent. I do not like the idea that we should worship angels. Lucifer should be an example of why you shouldn't worship angels. Because they're not worthy of worship. Hey, Lark.
Howdy, Pilgrim.
We're wrapping up the last match of the night. Went a little longer than we expected.
I heard.
Oh, you were listening to some of that?
Yeah, I was driving back. I had the stream turned on.
Did you hear anything?
Yup.
Yeah, been an interesting night.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to get in on some of this. We've been having a very big spiritual discussion.
Yes, I heard some of that. Satanism. Now that's what I call.
What do you think? What do you think that there is a true possibility of demons being invisible around us, aka spirits? Oh, I believe that demons and angels walk among us. I do believe that.
Yeah.
They are limited in what they can do, limited in how they interact with us, but they're there. Like, I'm sure.
I mean, Jesus cast out demons, and there's also angels directly in the Bible. So there's angels in the New Testament. So if you're a Christian, you kind of have to believe in those things.
So wait, is Lucifer the reason pride is the original sin? That's an interesting theory. Sin is essentially disobedience. That's what essentially sin is. And if you want to consider Satan's actions the first sin, yeah, you could say that pride was technically the first sin. Doesn't the worship of angels go against the commandment that goes a little like do not worship other gods pretty much? Yes, exactly.
You don't worship the angels.
You don't worship the angels. They're not worthy of worship. Only God is worthy of worship. I don't believe they influence most people. I feel like most people make conscious choices to do wrong things. Oh no, I agree with you on that. People are naturally sinful. But I do believe that there is a spiritual war around us, and I do believe that what demons occasionally do is present temptation. Like, I believe that that's what demons essentially do. They basically present a temptation, and then we make the choice to run to it, you know? I mean, have you ever heard of the trope of the devil on the soldier? Like, you have a devil on your shoulder and an angel on your shoulder. The devil's trying to tempt you to do something, the angel's trying to stop you. You know, that's kind of the way I look at it. I've often thought if we could see that spiritual warfare going on around us, we'd flip pretty hard. If you had a true understanding of the spiritual warfare going on around us, it would terrify you. I mean, Michael does have a godly six-pack. I mean, Michael's pretty strapped, let's be real.
I ain't going to deny that.
Hey Raven, have you read the Havama? And as I type this, your stream is freezing up again. Is it coming from me or you? Ken saying no one else is complaining about the stream freezing.
Might be your own internet, dude.
Might be you, dude. And I'm watching the stream on my end too. I'm not seeing any freezing.
Yep. Nope. I mean, I had a little bit of a rough issue when we had I was driving through a dead zone, but.
Well, you were driving through a dead zone.
But yeah, no. Love gaining gains.
Be not afraid. Actually, you want to know something funny? God tells us in the Bible to not be afraid many times. It's kind of crazy.
I do love it. Be not afraid. Sir, this is the most horrifying experience.
I would argue Satan's sin was jealousy at the first sin. You could argue that. I think there's jealousy involved. I think there's some pride involved. You know, I think you could make the argument for either one, really.
And then he got yeeted.
Pride comes before a fall. That sounds like
Indeed.
That sounds. Yep, that's about
Pride
right.
cometh before the fall. It is supposed to be a metaphor for conscience, but the metaphor comes in handy.
Keep pushing this ram. There we go. 21st century God. Whoa, brother, chill. We chill. Just gotta holla at you for a moment.
List of things St. Peter's going to read out as we get to the pearly gates. So, care to explain what you meant?
Care to explain what it? I'm sure that someone's gonna, when they get to heaven, they're gonna walk up. They're gonna see Jesus. JC, my boy, how's it hanging, bro? And he's gonna go, who the hell is this guy?
Can you imagine? Like he's just like, no, you don't get to do that. Next guy. JC, what up? And then he's like, how we doing, brother? Like, how come you did it for him?
Raven, what do you think are good proverbs from the Bible? I would say all the proverbs from the Bible are good, but if you're talking about like my favorites, I love that do not cast pearls before swine. I love a fool's words are his own destruction. That one's a good one. I also love a fool just wants to hear himself talk. A wise man A wise man speaks to be heard. A wise man speaks because he wants to be heard. A fool speaks because he a wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool speaks because he wants to be heard. That's a great one. I love that one.
No, we haven't heard of the Hamaval.
No, I have not read the Havamal. And once again, you've dodged every question I've asked. I don't know why I should bother answering yours. Hey, Raven, what are some zealot characters like Joshua Graham? Joshua Graham.
Problem is, zealot characters are very seldom done well. Graham, like, what's part of the reason why Joshua Graham is so well loved, because he sort of breaks the archetype. Because, like, consider a lot of times, like, if somebody tells you, like, they're going to play D&D, they're going to play a lawful good paladin, you often go, like, oh boy, here we go. We're going to either get a Boy Scout or the guy trying to be Doomslayer. But Joshua Graham is, like, probably, like, the textbook way you should be playing that sort of character.
The Havamal is a collection of poems written centered around the Norse god Odin. Oh, well, no, I haven't read those.
Nope.
I don't really care for, I mean, Odin's fine. Norse pantheon's cool and all, but...
Odin.
The quote about wise men speaking when they have something to say wasn't a Bible verse unless I misheard you and you were just talking about your favorite quotes. I was asking about my favorite proverbs, but yeah, you're right. That's not from the Bible, but it is one of my favorite proverbs. But if we're talking about proverbs from the Bible, there is one about a wise and prudent man against a fool, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Raven, who is the weirdest person to become a saint? I don't know all the saints out there, so it's hard for me to say.
I also believe there's people that the Catholics and Orthodox have canonized as saints that we don't necessarily. So, my personal favorite is like the patron saint of comedians, who being burnt alive, his last words were "flip me over, this side's done."
1 second, I need to check. Oh, I'm about to get into a fight. I was going to check a message, but got to kill this guy first.
Yep. Joshua Graham is what happened when you let Mormonism survive in a post-apocalypse for 200 years and then set it on fire, throw it in the canyon, and let it rot, essentially. Yeah, I have seen memes where it's just like list of people who made Mormonism look cool. Joshua Graham, no one else.
All right, now let me check this thing. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's see. The North Pantheons had their time and that time has passed. Agreed.
Just mean the second being a saint is the weirdest I've seen.
Do you know Romans 8:18? If I remember, it has something to do with the suffering of today is meaningless next to the rewards that are revealed to us. I think. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I mean, look.
Take a look, Lark. See if I'm even close. I might not be.
Romans 8:18. From the NIV, I consider that our present suffering are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us.
I was pretty close then. The pain you have been feeling will not compare to the joy that is coming. Yep, that's a good one. I like Romans is a great book of the Bible. Like I look to it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Romans 14 is a great book to go with when talking about like the differences in the way we look at like Christ.
I can't think of a good character that is well portrayed as a Christian in video games outside of Graham. And that's a problem, because and it's not just with video games, it's in a lot of it in popular media. Very typically, Christianity, or really religious characters in general, are treated typically as jokes and laughing stocks. And I get why they do it. I can understand it sometimes, but like, if they would just treat it with something, forgive me for using this phrase, but if they would treat it with a little bit more reverence than some, because there are a lot of atheists out there that really like Joshua Graham, even though it's like, listen, I don't believe what he believes, but
he's
a cool character.
Yeah.
That devotion, that reverence, that frame of mind, that's something that's...
Well, most people just want to write Christians as...
kooky
or goofy, yeah. Odin said something similar to the wise man, fool words thing in the Havamal.
That's great, buddy.
That's awesome. I'm glad for that.
Most media in general shows Christians as Catholics, just because that's the largest denomination. So, and also you got to keep in mind, most movie production is done in either Los Angeles, California, or New York City, or some other large city where typically the only Christianity they're exposed to is typically Catholicism.
Yep. Since didn't mean to hit ready, pull out. Okay. So let me go ahead and go through my heroes real quick and see what needs editing. But this is your last chance to get out any last questions you have about the gospel if you want, because this has been a very interesting stream. Not a bad one. I've been enjoying talking about this stuff. Anytime I get to talk about my faith, I have a lot of fun doing it.
I don't think even a lot of Christian media do Christian characters justice.
No.
Yeah, honestly, not a lot of Christian media is really that good.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's like an ongoing joke that when non-believers go to hell, their punishment shall be watching Christian movies for the entire, for like all eternity.
Yeah, people like to make fun of Christian rock. And I think part of that is because some things about Christian worship just sound really stale. And I can understand the frustration there, but
yeah, listen to some Skillet.
Yeah, Skillet's cool.
Because there is good Christian media out there. It's the exception, not the rule.
Unfortunately.
Hey, Lark, why do you think Christians are so scared to stand up to evil in today's society? It depends, because there are some that they are bold as lions and they will actually go out there and fight against it. However, but a lot of them are very much scared because in modern day, it's very easily painted as a villain. It's very easily to have your words taken out of context and skewed. So if they try and say what they believe or try and stand by what they believe, there's a very real chance they could lose their job. In certain instances, in certain countries, you could be killed. And so standing up to evil is going to be a difficult thing. Not that it shouldn't be done, but for a lot of people, it's very much scary.
Well, the thing to keep in mind is it's also the reality that Christians are taught to love our neighbors and to not try to start conflicts. We're also taught not to hurt people just because they don't believe what we believe. And so people know this, and so they look for reasons to harass and antagonize us. I mean, just look at what's happened in this chat with a certain someone. And so many Christians are fearful to start problems because they're worried if they start antagonizing people or standing up to people, then they're going to be seen as bigots and hateful. And so they're afraid. Can you blame them?
Why did Rome not care about Jesus?
Okay, so here's the thing. Rome, when Jesus was doing his mission work, when Jesus was doing his wandering, they didn't care about Jesus. They were just kind of like, oh, it's another preacher person, another rabble-rouser. They didn't really understand the importance of Jesus' coming. The Jews, the Pharisees, hated Jesus, and they turned Rome against Jesus so that they could kill him. See, the Jews, since they were under Roman law, could not execute anyone or put anyone to death without Rome.
Specifically.
The Pharisees could not put anyone to death without Rome's permission. So they were trying to get Rome to call Jesus evil and say, let us execute him. And Rome basically said, I mean, he doesn't really seem like that big of a problem. He's your issue. Well, let us kill him. No, you're not going to do that. So they kept trying and trying and trying until they could finally get permission from Rome to do it. And Pilate himself, Pontius Pilate, who was the governor of Judea for the Romans, said, I see no fault in this man, but I'm tired of y'all putting up with this, so here's the thing. His blood will be on your hands. I want nothing to do with it. So And then after that, they thought, okay, this Jesus guy's dead. We're done with this issue. We're done with this. Problem is, it turned into the religion of Christianity, and Christianity became a massive thorn in the side of Rome for a long time.
Yep, because like you even see like there's like a proclamation to the Judean province from Emperor Claudius saying like, hey guys, be extra careful when guarding cemeteries to make sure we don't have another Jesus incident. Make sure nobody's trying to steal bodies, because that's what they assumed it was. And there's also Roman governors who would complain about this new cult popping up of these Christians. Like, they don't respect our way of life. I mean, they won't even attend gladiator games because they don't want to see people die. Can you believe these guys?
Yeah.
So Christianity started out as a nuisance to them. However, as time grew on, their influence started to become even bigger and bigger, and so a lot of people, like Emperor Diocletian, viewed them as a destabilizing influence, because he figured that like part of him was like, this is part of a lack of piety. Since we aren't worshiping our proper gods, they're all worshiping this Jesus fella. Well, that's why we're having so much trouble, so he tried persecuting them. Constantine and Constantine's father, when they were in charge, they really didn't view the persecutions as like, why bother? So they didn't put the whole hog into it. And then Constantine, well, you know, how he and Christianity have a relationship.
For some reason, whenever I watch, you have naturally better at For Honor. And what do the Jews worship? The Jews worship Yahweh. They see. Here's the thing: Jesus was a Jew. Jesus was the Messiah. The Jews believe in the Hebrew God, our God, but they do not believe that Jesus is the Messiah. That's the difference. The difference between Christians and Jews is that Jews believe that the Messiah is yet to come. We believe that Jesus was the Messiah. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Hey, Raven and Lark, why is a lot of Christian art is God depicted as an old man? Because we like to view him as one. Like, he's the creator of all things.
Well, it sort of goes in like, when you think of someone who's wise, you think of typically someone like an old sage, someone who's also who is the wisest of all.
Right, and you know it's funny. One thing to think about: Jesus, God can look like whatever the hell he wants to. You know, he can be an old man, he can be a young man, he can be a child, he can be a woman, he can
talk
be
to a burning bush.
He can talk to a burning bush. He can talk through a donkey.
Speak in a whisper.
He can do whatever. You know, God is all powerful. Hey Raven, what's your favorite execution from Nobushi? Okay, let's see. I can show you. I can show you my favorite Nobushi execution. I almost forgot we were playing For Honor. We were talking about Christ so much. Not that that's a problem. My favorite execution from Nobushi is Momiji no Uchi. I love this one. I love this execution. Absolutely god tier. That's my favorite.
You ever see the meme of Dad Kratos meeting Jesus? Oh, you mean like the one where like he meets Jesus and then like the ash comes off like, I forgive you?
Yes, that is such a good one.
I would pay money. Like, if someone told me, yeah, that's how the next God of War DLC is gonna like end, I would drop so much money to play that.
I've never seen the film Risen, Jack. I may need to.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think they also have like the guy that played Martin Luther in the Luther film play the Centurion.
Interesting.
Who's also in Enemy at the Gates.
Well, anyway, we probably need to start wrapping this up. Any last questions?
Let's see. After hearing about how they treated over me and okay, that's probably not what I was referring to.
You asked a question.
How can I do Christianity and heaven justice in a comic universe?
I mean, read the Bible. Try to be meticulous about what it says about heaven. There are lots of verses in Revelation that describe heaven, and Jesus' parables describe heaven a lot. So
I think the idea is the best idea I can see. Like, have the characters that are Christian treat it with like, don't make them just clowns, just going like, oh, Deus Volter, I'm stupid and don't believe in science. Have them do so, like, have them show the character reverence and make it seem like their religion matters to them, that their belief matters to them.
Labaj, thank you again for letting me join, Raven. No problem. All right, I'm going to answer these last two questions, and we're going to wrap it up. First, professional cynic, worst pope in history, Rodrigo Borgia. Hands down, one of the absolute worst. So terrible that the Vatican cut off his hall from the Vatican just so that people would try to forget him. The next one was, what are your opinions on other religions outside Satanism going to hell and heaven, especially those who never had the chance to convert to Christianity? That's a good question. It's one that gets asked a lot. So here's my thoughts on that. I don't hate other religions. I don't despise them. I think that religions often tell us a lot about a culture and a people and if we see how the religion came to be, we can understand the people's thought process and what they lived through. So I find religions fascinating. That's why I study different mythologies and religions and faiths so that I understand them better. However, when it comes to the heaven and hell debate, the Bible's very clear. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you cannot get into heaven. Because Jesus is the only way. No, Jesus said himself, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, people often say, well, what about people who were around worshiping other things or didn't know who Jesus was, or people that were around before Jesus? The Bible says, that Paul says in the Bible that all people were put in place by God to be prepared to hear his word. We do not know who throughout the world knew God and didn't. They might have known God by a different name. They might have known God in a different way, but we don't know who God reached and who God spoke to outside of the Israelites.
Yeah, God is going to judge you based off what you know. Not to mention, like, even if you look back in Genesis, there's a guy named King Melchizedek. He was king of Salem. And though he had no connection to Abraham other than the fact that he met a few times, Melchizedek was described as a prophet of the Most High.
Right.
And Abraham recognized him as worshiping the same God as him.
Right. And keep in mind, God said to Abraham that your people would be the people who bring my word to the world. He did not say you're the only people who will ever.
Like, I will bless all nations through you.
I will bless all nations through you, correct. So that was basically the idea. Through the Jews, we got Jesus. We got the Word of God. We got all that. But there may have been various people around the world who knew God in a different way, or maybe may have interacted with God in different ways. Lots of people like to say, well, what about before Jesus, people living in China or the Chinese area, they never would have even gotten the chance to hear about Jesus or about the message of salvation, and God just left them to die. We don't know who in China had a relationship with God in his own way. God puts us in a position to hear his word, whether or not we choose to accept it is our choice. Because God is described as a just and fair God, and as a just and fair God, he would never put his children in a position where they could not somehow receive him. And people always say, well, if Jesus only saved us, then what about all the people before Jesus? Jesus' salvation does not just extend to after his death, it extends to all of time. The salvation and forgiveness of Jesus goes through all of time.
There's also a Catholic belief, and I'm not sure how much I buy into this, but it's a fun story, that Jesus, after his ascension, went down to hell and went to limbo and rescued all of the righteous people from before. And I was just like, I'm not sure if I buy that, but that sounds awesome. If
a non-Christian married a Christian, do they have to convert? Let me put it this way: there's no law that says they have to, but ask yourself this: if you have a non-Christian married to a Christian, what are you going to teach the kids? What are you going to do on Sunday? Will all of you go to church but the wife doesn't, or the husband doesn't? It's going to cause problems in the relationship. So it's probably best to marry someone who's going to believe what you believe. I believe that that's just a smarter idea.
Yeah, I've seen kids come from parents with different religions. The kids are incredibly confused.
Anyway, that's about all we have time for. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Had a great time doing this. I had so much fun. This was a very unique stream, guys. Did not expect it to go all faith-based like this. I hope that you guys enjoyed. What's this? Hey, Raven, let's you and me talk about literature instead of religion next time. You're the one who started that discussion, dude. Don't act like I'm the one who did this. You started with the religion discussion. You started with the harassment. You want to talk literature? We can talk literature, okay? We can do that, but hey, I didn't start that. Anyway, all right, thank you guys so much. And as always, we will see you in our next video. Take care.